Have you ever been there, sitting across from someone, maybe it's a new colleague, could be a first date, or just someone you don't know that well,
Oh, yeah.
and they ask that question, seems simple enough, right? So what have you been up to lately?
Uh-huh. And suddenly, nothing.
Exactly. Your mind is just like this completely dry, echoing cavern, total blank.
It's an absolute vacuum, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're scrambling inside, trying to find anything interesting, a story, an idea, and you honestly can't remember if you've ever, existed before that moment.
You feel totally inert, dull,
Yeah.
just profoundly uninteresting.
That feeling of inertness, yeah, it's deeply unsettling.
But here's the really weird part, the paradox we're digging into today. You have that blank experience, right?
Yeah.
Then maybe just a day or two later, you're talking to someone else. Same question. What have you been up to?
Like-
And suddenly you're overflowing. It's like you can't stop the ideas, the stories, the observations. You're positively brimming with stuff to say.
It's such a stark contrast.
Yeah.
And we usually, we spend a lot of time judging people on how interesting they seem.
Yeah.
Like it's some kind of fixed trait they perform.
Yeah, like they're putting on a show.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe we're looking at it completely the wrong way around. The real issue might not be their interestingness, but actually how interesting does that person make us feel? Unconsciously, of course.
Wow, okay. That flips the script entirely.
Doesn't it?
So our mission today, then, is to really explore the psychology of conversational flow, maybe, or safety. Why do some people just, unlock our inner world,
They're like catalysts, yeah.
while others, they feel like putting up a wall, and we just feel blank, dull, almost inert?
And there's a subtle, usually unconscious mechanism driving all of this. That's what we want to unpack.
Well, let's dive into that core phenomenon first, that contrast. It's not like our life changes dramatically in 48 hours.
No, not at all. Your life's the constant. The variable is,
Yeah.
let's call it the conversational container, the person you're with.
So why, with person A, does asking what's new make our minds just light up with thoughts and stories?
Mm-hmm.
And with person B, same question. It's like an internal switch just flips off. We struggle to even remember basic facts about ourselves.
Well, I think we often blame ourselves, don't we? We think, oh, I should be more interesting, or I need more hobbies, or...
Yeah, I should read more news.
Right. But what's really happening, according to the thinking we're exploring, is this kind of silent, super fast assessment. It's running in the background.
An assessment of the other person.
Precisely. We're using what you could call a hidden faculty of the unconscious mind. We think conversation is all conscious, just exchanging information.
Uh-huh.
But underneath, our unconscious is constantly gathering and analyzing all these tiny data points about the person we're talking to. It's like an instant security check.
A security check determining what's safe to share.
Exactly. What's safe, what's not. What will land well, and what might backfire.
Okay, so what kind of clues are we talking about? It can't just be like what they're wearing or their job title, surely.
Oh, no, it's much more subtle. It's behavioral. Deeply behavioral. We're subconsciously gauging things like, their reaction time, their tolerance for things that aren't simple, their emotional range, really.
How do we gauge that?
We watch closely. How much do their eyes really light up when maybe we mention something a bit nuanced or slightly off the usual track? How well can they actually follow something complex?
Yeah.
Like not just the basic plot of a movie you saw, but maybe the weird underlying theme you noticed.
So we're sort of testing the waters,
Ah.
pushing the boundary of what they can handle.
You got it. We're probing the edges of their, let's say, emotional envelope. Can they handle the full picture of my reality? Or just the edited highlights?
That's the key question, isn't it? How much of my actual, sometimes messy, sometimes strange reality can this person take in stride without kind of flinching?
Or worse, getting alarmed or judgmental. Think about it. Maybe you just had a big win at work, launched a project. Great. But maybe last week you also had a really painful argument with a family member or felt incredibly lonely. That's also part of your reality.
Right. So I mentioned the work success, and they're fine. But if I even hint at the loneliness, maybe I see this tiny flicker, a slight pulling back.
That flicker, that's it. That's the microreaction. It signals the potential for what's described as an alarmed or censorious response.
But our unconscious picks that up instantly.
Instantly. And it calculates, okay, how much energy will I need to spend editing myself now? How much do I have to hide to avoid that reaction again? To spare them, and honestly, to spare myself the discomfort.
Wow. And if a calculation comes back as like you need to hide 80% of your actual thoughts and feelings?
Then the conversation just tanks. It becomes an exercise in self-censorship, which is absolutely exhausting.
It's not even a conversation anymore, really. It's damage control.
Precisely. And that leads straight to the final unconscious verdict.
Okay.
How much of me is this person actually likely to get?
To understand or tolerate.
Yeah. And if the answer feels like very little, the instinct is just overwhelming. Shut it down. Be bland. Stay quiet.
So the problem isn't that you're boring. It's that you've decided deep down this person isn't a safe place for your complexity.
That's the core insight.
Yeah.
Our conversational richness isn't just about us. It's profoundly influenced by our perception of the other person's capacity.
Okay, that clarifies the problem beautifully. So then, how do we flip it? How do we become that person, the one who makes others feel safe enough to realize, hey, I actually have a lot to say?
Well, if the problem is about perceived capacity in the other person, the solution has to start with building capacity within ourselves.
Ah, okay. It's an internal job.
Completely. To become that kind of container for others, you first have to sort of open up more rooms inside your own mind.
We're talking about internal geography now, not just, practicing small talk.
Exactly. This isn't about performance. It's about the depth of your own internal conversation. Are you actually talking to yourself about meaningful things?
So the people who make us feel interesting are the ones who are already interesting to themselves.
In a fundamental way, yes.
Mm.
They're having rich internal dialogues. And look, this is why it's hard. Because some of those internal rooms, well, they can contain some pretty frightening stuff.
Let's pause there because that feels important. We're not talking about forgetting where you put your keys. What kind of frightening things are we talking about?
We're talking about the rooms that hold real loss, significant pain, maybe moments of horror or deep chaos you've experienced or felt, irrational shame, the big failures.
The stuff we usually build walls around.
Absolutely. The silly, selfish thoughts, the grief maybe we haven't fully processed, the things that, if everyone knew, might feel socially difficult. We're often, forgiven for wanting to keep those doors locked forever.
We spend a lot of energy keeping them locked. So the definition of an interesting person in this context isn't someone with perfectly neat, tidy internal rooms.
No, quite the opposite. The truly interesting person, the one who creates that space for others, is someone who has become a brave and relaxed wanderer inside their own mind.
A brave and relaxed wanderer. I like that.
They've explored those rooms, they're familiar with what's in there, and crucially, they're at ease with it all. The sad stuff, the dark stuff, the agonizing bits, the just plain strange or silly or potentially shameful parts of being human.
They faced their own chaos and accepted it.
Accepted it as part of the landscape, yeah. Not necessarily fixed it all, but acknowledged it's there, and they can navigate it without panic.
Okay, that's a huge internal achievement. But how does my internal comfort with, say, my own past mistakes make you feel safer talking about yours? What's the connection?
It's this really beautiful idea, a principle of reciprocity, because that brave wanderer is already comfortable or at home with their own anxieties, their own grief, their own strangeness, their own silliness. They subconsciously transmit this powerful signal of non-judgment. Because they're okay with their own messiness, they signal they'll likely be okay with ours too.
Ah, I see. So their internal journey creates an external permission slip for the rest of us.
Kind of. Where they've been brave enough to venture inside themselves, we sense it's safe for us to explore similar territories out loud with them.
The things they've managed to sit with in themselves, maybe complex thoughts, weird impulses, deep disappointments.
We feel we can safely unpack those same kinds of things around them. It's like they offer psychological sanctuary.
That makes so much sense. It's the foundation of real connection, isn't it? Not just surface chat.
Absolutely. And this gives really clear guidance then for you listening. If you want to be someone others connect with deeply, someone they feel safe opening up to,
Yeah.
the work isn't about learning clever lines or networking tricks. It's about becoming the best possible, bravest traveler inside yourself.
Okay, the work is internal, deep internal work. But how does that translate? How do people pick up on that internal courage? It needs to send some kind of signal, right?
It does, but it's subtle, it's subliminal.
Uh-huh.
By doing that work, by opening those doors inside your own psyche, by really sitting with the discomfort, the shame, the complexity, the grief, whatever it is, you simultaneously and kind of surreptitiously let out this signal to other people.
What does the signal say?
It says something like, look, I've faced some of this stuff too. I'm okay with human imperfection. I understand difficult feelings. You don't have to pretend around me.
Right.
I'm likely a safe recipient for your smaller, more private, less often mentioned thoughts and feelings.
That changes everything about how you approach social situations. It stops being a performance.
And starts being about internal generosity,
Yeah.
offering your own settledness as a space for others.
So the ultimate insight here is it's demanding, but also kind of liberating. People will only have a lot to say to us once we've had the courage to say a lot to ourselves, especially the hard stuff.
That's the absolute core takeaway. Being a fascinating conversationalist, someone people genuinely open up around, isn't about external charm school. It's an act of internal bravery.
Rooted in self-knowledge, self-acceptance.
Exactly. And it's generous because you're essentially offering your own internal work as a kind of temporary safe harbor for someone else's complexity.
And just knowing this framework, it really shifts how you see interactions, doesn't it? It helps make sense of why some conversations feel so flat. It's not necessarily that there's nothing to say.
It's that the perceived safety isn't there. Understanding this can reduce that feeling of information overload too, because you stop focusing just on surface details and start sensing the deeper potential for connection or the lack thereof.
It enhances understanding, definitely.
So maybe a final thought for you to take away and chew on, building on all this.
Okay.
Next time you find yourself struggling for words around someone, feeling that familiar blankness descend, try asking yourself a different question, not what's wrong with me, or even what are they doing wrong, but maybe ask, what specific interior room inside me, what vulnerability, what past failure, what odd thought, what quiet sadness am I instinctively keeping locked right now, perhaps to protect this other person or myself?
Identifying the self-censorship in the moment.
Yes. And then maybe reflect, what does keeping that door locked actually cost you in terms of genuine connection, depth, and maybe even just simple honesty in your life?